everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today's seed of the run is 02F683RT. Plug it in, play along with me, maybe do some things a little bit differently. Let me know in the comment section below. Today's challenge is Tainted Azazel Ultra Greed. Tainted Azazel looks pretty cool. He doesn't have flight since his wings are clipped, which kind of blows, but like his counterpart, he has a brimstone, but instead of the short brim that regular Azazel has, his brim can cover from wall to wall, but with the shorter duration. The reason for that is his other starting item, Hemotysis, which is a high knockback sneeze attack that can curse the enemy, and while they are cursed, if killed by your brim, can shorten the duration even more. Also, when cursed, if they die by your brim, they explode and can cause damage to nearby enemies and can spread the curse to them. Hence why they call it a sneeze attack, since its curse can be contagious. You just need to time it correctly. Now there is many strategies you can go while playing as Tainted Azazel, since his sneeze brim combo can be used very aggressively or very defensively, depending on your playstyle. In a greed run, I most likely will play more conservative, since taking devil deals and retaining HP can be an obstacle, and since he does not have flight, my positioning needs to be on point. Now if you're not familiar with greed mode, it is an arena type mode where wave after wave of enemies will appear and coins will drop as a reward after each wave is completed. You'll use these coins to purchase your items within the run, like bombs, keys, boss room items, with the shop mechanic. It's actually pretty fun and a great change of pace while doing regular Isaac's run, since the Isaac runs can be somewhat repetitive without any randomized challenge behind it. And as of now, right now, we're doing wave after wave. Our HP is at 2 black hearts. Definitely concerning. Like I said earlier, positioning needs to be key. I ended up finding mom's purse, coin purse, or pill bag. I forgot the name of it. Not that great of an item, kind of disappointed in it. I picked up Soul of Eden, great item if you want to reroll, so I'm definitely excited to see if I can utilize that. But again, playing as Tainted Azazel, you need to figure out your playing style. Mine, like I said, is going to be very, very conservative. I do have a new greed mod skin in the game, so a lot of the bosses you're going to see are going to look a little differently. But I assure you they're the same bosses in a regular run. But like I said, you have to play very differently and very conservative. As you see, my HP is at 1. I'm very, definitely concerned about that. So I'm trying to use the knockback a little defensively, trying to get my sneeze. I'm trying to time my sneeze, but at the same time dodge the creep. Again, unlike Tainted Azazel is not the same as Azazel, since he doesn't have the flight. I do find Mom's Eye, it does give you that shot behind your head, so it's interesting. But then when I went to the shop, I found Sprinkler, and Sprinkler is a great spacebar item. As you see here, I'm going to drop it, and it's going to do a brim, and since it's a double brim because of Mom's Eye, so I'm definitely combining these pretty well. I do the devil deal run, and I go into my first devil deal. I see Guppy's head, but I also see the pact. Since my HP is kind of low, taking the pact is a no-brainer. It gives me the +2 black hearts, a little bit of damage, a little bit of tier rate. I pick up the black hearts, and I'm on to the next floor. So far, it was not a bad first floor. I think grabbing the Sprinkler could be the game-changing item in this run, as the Sprinkler is just extremely OP in a greed run. I go into my next floor, I find a snack which gives me an HP up. I use Soul of Eden since that other item was trash. I pick up Bomber Boy just to have a little bit of bombs on me. It doesn't hurt to have. Not really that useful in greed runs, but it doesn't concern me much. I pop the Sprinkler, and the Sprinkler is just gonna melt everybody away. And because of greed runs in its wave after wave, you're always gonna get a charge. So it's the opportunity to drop more than one Sprinkler. Greed runs are really, really good with Lilith, since Lilith does use Box of Friends. And hopefully one day I can play that, and I can show everybody her playing style, because she's extremely well-rounded in greed runs as well. But as you see, we have 3 Sprinklers dropped. Our bosses, if they even go that way in that direction, they're just gonna get destroyed. So as Tainted Azazel, now because I have the Sprinkler, I don't have to play as conservative. I can just normally have a casual run. And I'm cruising along so far. I'm going into trying to see what devil deal I want to have and want to take. Grabbing the pack on floor 1 in my devil deal was amazing. I don't know what I need at this point. Honestly, I'm always debating on if I continue taking devil deals. Thankfully, this devil deal was trash, but boom, dead cat pops up. And having Guppy as Azazel or Tainted Azazel or anybody with a Brimstone is incredible. I go into the shop, I have the coins for it, I pick up a Lump of Coal. Lump of Coal is a great supporting item. The longer the duration of your shot and the further it goes, it's going to be a lot more powerful. I pick up Binky on the next floor, gives me a great Tears Up, some more Soul Hearts, and I find Sacrificial Dagger, another great defensive item. So far, the run is looking pretty smooth. We have really good items, and I'm very, very fortunate about that. And as you see, our Sprinkler is going to take the effect of Lump of Coal, so it's gonna hit a little harder. So we're really, really fortunate right now. I'm low on money, and I really can't see my HP. Again, because of Sprinkler, I'm not too worried about my playstyle, but HP can be a burden if you're not careful, because there is no real, you have to be really fortunate if you find Soul Hearts in the shop, and if you see them, you have to make the decision if you want to spend that extra cash on the Soul Hearts or do you want to spend the extra cash on an item. It really depends on what you're trying to do and how well you trust your positioning in the game. And so far, I mean, like, again, these bosses are just, it's gonna get destroyed because of the Sprinkler combination that we have. We go into our shop. I do see Mystery Gift. Mystery Gift is going to give us an item based off the item pool you're in. So the reason of me taking it is because I want to pop it in the devil deal, try to, you know, do a cheeky play and try to see if I can get a free devil deal item. We do have 9 lives, so I really want to try to get Guppy. I mean, in hindsight, we did see a Guppy item in our first devil deal, but again, you're not really going to know if you're going to see any other Guppy items throughout the run. So we get our devil deal, and it's kind of trash again. I pop Mystery Gift. It gives false PhD, which is going to give us a black heart every time we take a bad pill, or get to give some stats with a little bit of damage. As you see here, I do find Bad Trip. Just debating if I want to take it. It's going to deal 1 heart damage to myself, but because of the PhD, it does spawn a black heart, which is kind of a waste. I go back. I definitely want to pick up my Sprinkler. That's just an OP item in any greed run, no matter what character you're playing as, especially with anybody with a Brimstone. So honestly, because of how well we're doing so far, I'm not really utilizing his sneeze knockback attack. So, and that's because of the Sprinkler. Again, playing as Tainted Azazel could be a hassle, but with Sprinkler, it's just a joke. HP is looking pretty good, 2 red hearts, and our Soul Heart game and Black Heart game is solid. And as a backup for reassurance, we do have 9 lives. But I do not want to rely on 9 lives, because when we do that, we're gonna lose all our hearts and be down to 1 red heart. And it kind of sucks when you're at the last boss and you're like, you know, you're playing your play style, you know you're gonna take a hit, and then that 1 tap and you're done. It kind of sucks. So 9 lives has its benefits, but 9 lives doesn't really work well unless you have all the Guppy pieces or the Guppy transformation. That at that point you should be well rounded in the game, and at that point that run should be a breeze. I mean, look at it now. We're not really utilizing him as a Tainted Azazel at all. We're just letting our Sprinkler do all the work. I'm barely cursing anybody. Do not forget to subscribe, like the channel. I love making these videos, and I love explaining how I play and how I run. It's pretty enjoyable for me, and hopefully you guys find that as well. So please subscribe. Again, our Sprinkler is just doing all the work for us. I barely shot anything. Now the only issue with the Sprinkler, or in any greed run, an ultra greed fight, when you're fighting ultra greed, and you're gonna see it here when we get to the boss, because we're clearly gonna make it to all the way to ultra greed. The Sprinkler is not gonna be as active. It's gonna give us 1 charge, and because we're in that 1 room, it's not gonna get this many charges. So wherever we pop that Sprinkler, we're gonna have to make sure that it's in a good position when we're fighting ultra greed. So we walk into our next devil deal. I do see dark matter. I'm a big fan of dark matter. A lot of people don't like dark matter just because of the fear shot. Fear shot is up and down in the community. A lot of people do not like when the enemy is feared just because of how random the positioning of the enemy is after they are feared. It's erratic, I do agree, but I personally like it just because they're completely scared of you when they walk away in the opposite direction. So it's not too bad. I'm personally a fan of it. I go back in the shop. I do see a demon bum. I'm gonna play him. Hopefully I'm lucky and I get missing page 2, which is not that bad. I do get a black card out of it, and I would love to take the liver, but I'm short on change. I go on to the next floor. I'm finally in Sheol. I find Dad's lost coin. I really don't care, but I just want to get my luck up, so it's a free stat. Why not? I go into the cursed room, go straight to my devil deal, and it's Krampus. As you see above his head, he was cursed. But again, because of my brimstone, it just didn't really matter. I didn't target it and time it correctly. Now we're doing wave after wave again. I'm dropping my sprinklers. It's just powerful. I mean, look how fast everyone's getting melted away. But also, your positioning, I have to remember I don't have light. So my positioning needs to be pretty solid right now. And especially with enemies with brimstone or when the room is surrounded with enemies. Now imagine if we didn't have sprinkler and we have to utilize his knockback technique. When the room gets surrounded and if you're not clearing the way fast enough, more and more enemies will spawn until you're scared and you hit the button again. It's gonna be tough. Greed runs are a little different than regular Isaac runs. I mean, with Isaac runs, you can get away with not having a combination of survivability, damage, or tier rate. In greed runs, it's a little harder. You're gonna have your block terrain when you're in the boom. You're gonna be surrounded by enemies. If your speed is at like 1.1, 1.2, your positioning is gonna be tough. Again, we don't have flight, and with that flight, we can avoid unwanted damage like the spiked rocks, the creep, stuff like in that nature. But again, we got really fortunate with sprinkler. So we go into the shop. I do see a little bit of items that caught my attention, but I definitely want to take the battery. As I mentioned earlier, with sprinkler, because in the ultra greed fight you can only get one charge and you drop it only one time. I definitely want to utilize the battery and see if I can drop it 2 times. If I could drop the sprinkler twice on the ground, it could benefit us a lot. I'm not saying the ultra greed fight is extremely difficult, but if you're not careful, you can definitely get hurt. I mean, right now our damage is at 8.78. It's not the greatest damage to have, but I'm super confident because we have sprinkler. So as you see, I'm taking a lot more damage than usual, just because I'm confident in sprinkler. I know sprinkler could take them out faster than I can shoot them, since our damage is so low and our tier rate is only at 1.76. Not because we don't have flight and our positioning really matters at this point. Having a speed of 1.6 is pretty good. It's pretty decent to have. So I'm not super worried in this greed fight. Now, am I saying that I'm not gonna take bad damage during the fight against ultra greed? No, it probably happens. It happens to the best of us. Your positioning's off. You're running you're running away from enemies or add-ons in the game, and then the boss just clips you. It happens. So I'm trying to get sprinkler ready to go. So I do have 1 charge. I was trying to get the 2nd charge, so I need to time it and how many times I drop the sprinkler. But I don't think I'm gonna make it. I go into our next devil deal, and I don't really feel like taking any more deals just because I'm a little nervous on our HP. Luckily, we do find PJs, which is gonna give us 4 soul hearts, and I do have only 7 cents left. So the debate of should I keep going, I just do it anyway. You may never know. Now there was the battery I needed so I can get sprinkler double charge so I can drop it, but it doesn't happen. And hopefully, I was thinking maybe one of these enemies can drop a charge, a battery, something, but it just doesn't happen. So I move on to the shop. I'm going to the ultra greed fight. It's always gonna drop a boss here, and it's always either monstro or regular greeds. But again, there's the curse shot, I like the Tainted Azazel. I love the gimmick that he has with the curse and with the brim, the sneeze combo. Maybe in a regular Isaac run, it could be utilized more, but with the Ultra Greed run and finding Sprinkler, there was just no need for it. Now here we are with the Ultra Greed fight. I dropped my Sprinkler up a little bit more higher than I wanted to. I should have dropped it in the middle. So what I want to do is just want to lead him on to the top, kind of keep him there so I can get a little bit more damage off the brim. So right now he's getting hit on the angles, and I just kind of want to stay up here. Try to be in a little bit more comfortable position. I hit him with a sneeze attack just to play a little defensively, since it does have that knockback in him. I just felt like he was a little too close to me. Now with Ultra Greed, if you don't eliminate these keys, he will spawn more add-ons to the field. So you want to eliminate those keys as fast as you can. When it comes to the bombs that he drops and the coins, I'm not too worried about him. You just need to pop 1 or 2 and just hide and get away from him. Is Ultra Greed difficult? Not really. Again, it's your positioning. He drops too many add-ons on the screen, and as you see, my positioning was completely off. I took way too much damage from the start. Even though he's almost at 50% of his HP, definitely got a little worried. Now again, this little spin attack that he does, I don't know, it's just very odd that sometimes his positioning and his movement does get erratic, and it's just too much going on the screen. So you really need to watch positioning in this fight. And with the bombs, I'm not too worried. I'm trying to keep him up here because I dropped my double brim up Sprinkler here. Just trying to make sure that I'm good. Now he's at under 50% of his HP. Now I'm trying to take care of these coins with the keys on him so he doesn't have any add-ons out, since it does get a little distracting. So that is the thing I'm trying to do. I'm trying to eliminate those, clear the room with the bombs so I can have one good position. That way I don't get popped. Now with sitting at 1 red heart and a couple soul hearts, I'm a little nervous because every hit I take is a whole heart. So I'm only allowed maybe 4 to 5 hits more and then it's game over, which would kind of be disappointing since I found some pretty great items with Sprinkler, and having the Brimstone combination is just insane in a greed run. So my goal is not to die, because in an Ultra Greed fight, you're not just fighting Ultra Greed. He does have a second phase, and the second phase can get annoying if you're not if you don't understand his routine. But he does have a pattern. See, he does this little jump, and every time he jumps, it drops these bombs, as you see. So you have to make sure you position yourself correctly. Now there is a way you can go around it, but again, my positioning is way off. I'm super close to death here. But again, now you can just make a little quick circle when you're trying to fight him. See, I went from the right to the left, shoot him there, and then go from the left back to the right. And that's the strategy you want to do. Then go back up. You want to focus on using these four corners right here where I'm at, and just start laying some shots on them. If you do that, you most likely will be fine. You just gotta pop those coins with the bombs on it. That way you don't get hit with that cheeky damage, or just blink for a second and get popped. But again, as long as you're going back and forth like this, you should be okay. Ultra Greed, his second phase in his form, the golden form, it's like a golden Frieza. His golden form isn't as meaty with his HP, so his HP could drop a lot faster. I'm not taking a lot of shots on him. Again, I saw my HP. I'm at 1 red heart and a black heart and a half a black heart. So I'm most likely 2 hits away from death. So I'm getting a little scared. I'm trying to keep him in my Sprinkler range. But at this point, I was like, you know what? Let me just lay some shots on him. I think I could take him out. And I do. Like the video, subscribe. Tainted Azazel, Ultra Greed run. We did it, y'all. I appreciate y'all for watching. I appreciate y'all so much. Thank you.